again. Welcome to John's Jazz Joint with Lisa, my producer, and her entourage. We are looking at the second part of three on Nat King Cole. Last week, for the last episode, we looked at his beginnings as the son of a minister and part of a group of musicians that crossed the country and how they got kind of landlocked in California when one of the members of their group absconded with the $800,000, and so he was forced to play in nightclubs where he picked up the name King, and he began singing, which wasn't his original intent. He saw himself as a jazz musician. Today we're going to start off with one of four pieces that is really part of the phase when he was doing covers of other people's work, and it's called Candy. We'll give you the melody line and then we'll give you the words. Hope you enjoy it. Candy from 1944. So this song sort of falls into that sweetheart songs like Honeysuckle Rose and things that we've done before. It's very nice, but it's not really part of the serious phase that we'll be looking at a little later. Candy, I call my sugar candy, because I'm sweet on candy, and candy's sweet on me. She understands me, my understanding candy, and candy's always handy when I need sympathy. I wish that there were four of her, so I could love much more of her. She has taken me completely, got a sweet tooth for my sweetheart candy. It's gonna be just dandy the day I take my candy and make her mine, all mine. So 1944, Candy. The next piece that we're going to look at starts to look at a more serious side of Nat King Cole's music. It has to do with a ballerina having to choose between her career and her love. And I suppose it was kind of typical of young women at that point in time, where they were becoming more open to career choices and having to make decisions about their personal life and also their careers. So this song then, from 1947, 3 years later, Ballerina. Dance, ballerina, dance, and do your pirouette in rhythm with your aching heart. Dance, ballerina, dance. You mustn't once forget, a dancer has to dance the part. Dance, ballerina, whirl, and just ignore the chair that's empty in the second row. This is your moment, girl. Although he's not out there applauding as you steal the show. Once you said his love must wait its turn, you wanted fame instead. I guess that's your concern. We live and learn, and love is gone, ballerina gone. So on with your career, you can't afford a backward glance. Dance on and on and on. 1,000 people here have come to see the show as round and round you go. So ballerina, dance, dance, dance. So from 1947 we see a song really that starts to be a little more serious than some of the cover songs he was doing earlier. Now, he divorced his first wife and married another, and they were honeymooning in Acapulco when he got word that his latest song, Nature Boy, was a big hit. And so it was a happy time for him in newly married. But the song Nature Boy itself has kind of a very serious bent to it. It brings back a personal memory. When I was a teenager, I had a girl of my acquaintance, I shall say, not a girlfriend, but in my age group, who used to call me Nature Boy, and I could never figure out why. And I'm not sure whether it had any context or it had anything to do with this song or not, but I never figured it out. Anyway, Nature Boy then, from 1948.
Go follow Sadie. Go get Sadie.
Nature Boy. There was a boy, a very strange, enchanted boy. They say he wandered very far, over land and sea. A little shy and sad of eye, but very wise was he. And then one day, a lucky day he passed my way. Then we spoke of many things, fools and kings. Then he said to me, the greatest thing you'll ever learn is to love and be loved in return. So this song, Nature Boy, was really a very big hit for Nat King Cole, and brings us really to a look at his career at this point in time, because in the 40s he had a remarkable string of successes, appearing on radio shows and any kind of jazz collection. In 1956, however, some things happened that were really turning points in his life. Um, One of them happened in Birmingham, Alabama, where a large group of white men decided that they were going to try and kidnap him from the stage. And as many as 150 men were involved in this. And they distributed pictures of Nat King Cole with white women, and they were more or less implying that he was going to take their women away from them. And so it was kind of a reflection of something that had happened back in 1948 when he moved to California and went into one of the white neighborhoods. The Ku Klux Klan burned a cross on his lawn, and there was a group that came to tell him that they didn't want undesirables in their neighborhood. And Nat King Cole replied, well, he didn't want any undesirables either, and if he saw any, he would let them know. But this was more serious because this was an attack, and it kind of underlined the fact that up to this point in time, he really hadn't taken a stand on the business of racial inequality. And from that point on, he really took the criticism to heart, and he began to do things that would put him in good stead with the rest of the Afro-American community. So that brings us to our last song today, kind of a song that, in a sense, addresses this question of taking a look at where you're at and making it trying to make it a more ideal world. It's called Pretend, and it comes from 1952.
Look.
Don't give Sadie a biscuit together. Why?
Pretend you're happy when you're blue. It isn't very hard to do. And you'll find happiness without an end whenever you pretend. Remember, anyone can dream, and nothing's bad as it may seem. The little things you haven't got could be a lot if you pretend. You'll find the love you can share, one you can call your own. Just close your eyes, she'll be there. You'll never be alone. And if you sing this melody, you'll be pretending just like me. The world is mine, it can be yours, my friend. So why don't you pretend? And so, with this event happening in 1956 in Birmingham, it kind of brought him to the conclusion that he had to take a more active role in the whole race program, and so that changed his outlook. He was the first Afro-American to have a television program of his own. Began in 1956, and it was received very well by the critics and by the audiences, but they could not find a national sponsor. And so after a year and a half of financing it himself, he decided to quit in 1957. He had given up quite a bit, $500,000 in terms of nightclub appearances, so he made quite a financial, I shouldn't say contribution, but it was a cost of him to put together this first Afro-American television program, and so naturally he was disappointed. And but in our next part, part 3, we'll take a look at some of the songs that he continued with in the 60s, and we'll take a look at his untimely death. He was only 46 when he passed. All right, that's it for today from Lisa and myself. Take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye now from John's Jazz Joint.